Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami's daily Zoom class. Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, would we be continuing the prayers of Queen Kunti Devi today?
Yes, continue with those prayers. My obeisances to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj, let me just share the screen. Maharaj, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Thank you. So over to you. Thank you. We go.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So prayers by Queen Kunti, continuation. Now Krishna is about to leave and her prayers are geared towards her experience that she will undergo when Krishna is gone. And she's projecting in different ways what will it be like with you no longer present. And so these last few verses are centered around her mood of what will happen to us when you leave. Neha sobisate tatraha yatadanam gadadara vampadayar ankita bhakti swalakshana vilaksitai. Translation: O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. Purport: there are certain particular marks on the feet of the Lord which distinguish the Lord from others. The marks of a flag, thunderbolt, an instrument to drive an elephant, umbrella, lotus sticks, etc. All on the bottom of the Lord's feet. These marks are impressed upon the soft dust of the land where the Lord traverses. The land of Hastinapur was thus marked while Lord Krishna was there with the Pandavas, and the kingdom of the Pandavas thus flourished by such auspicious signs. Kunti pointed out these distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vachakalpatarubhischa Kripa Sindhupe Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Gadadhara, another name of Krishna is Gadadhara, means, Gada means club, and Dara means holder. Krishna is also holds the club in his form as Krishna, also when he is also in his form as Vishnu, as a regular symbol that he keeps with him in his Vishnu manifestations. In his Krishna manifestations, the club becomes his weapon when he does battle with the demons. Our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet. So there's so many, it's mentioned here, there's so many impressions on the feet of the Lord. And some of them are being pointed out. Flag, thunderbolt, goad, umbrella, lotus, disc. And these impressions come into the earth as Krishna walks onto the earth. And just these impressions alone give auspiciousness. And because of that, our kingdom has flourished. And now you are leaving, and no longer will your lotus feet be touching the land. Therefore, she's saying, we feel that our auspiciousness is coming to an end. And this is the love that Kunti has for Krishna. And that love is coming out in the form of not wanting Krishna to leave. She wants him to stay because everything about his presence brings happiness, victory, protection, good fortune, just by the Lord's personal presence. And so she's speaking in this way. And it's interesting, Prabhupada mentions some of the auspicious signs on the feet of the Lord. There's one book that has all of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, Lord Nityananda, even Advaita Acharya. And these indications are not just randomly picked. Why are these particular? Each one of these symbols has a particular meaning, both for the Lord as his symbol of identity, but it also has a meaning for it teaches certain aspects about the Lord that is auspicious for the devotee. For instance, the thunderbolt. The thunderbolt, sometimes we use the word lightning bolt. It's the same thing. Thunderbolt, lightning bolt, because when there's thunder, there's lightning. So thunderbolt is very powerful. It's a flash of lightning in the sky. And if it hits something, and many times it hits something on the earth, such as a tree or even a mountain, it's so powerful that it immediately destroys that object to pieces. So the thunderbolt on the lotus feet of the Lord means that it destroys all the inauspiciousness in the devotee's life. So one who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord gets the benefit of all of these symbols as they indicate how they affect the devotee in the auspicious way in his devotional service. Of course, the disc, the lotus, these are symbols of the Lord. They represent killing the demons and auspiciousness. So all of you'll see, Krishna has, I think he has 11 symbols on one foot and 9 symbols on the other foot, total of 20. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Radha and Krishna together, has about 32 symbols on his feet. He has the most because he has not only Krishna's symbols, but also Radharani's symbols on his feet. So the lotus feet of the Lord represents pure devotional service. It represents everything auspicious. It represents complete shelter from material energy. And so Kunti is very keen to point out that the lotus feet of the Lord represents all success in life, both material and pushing back the inauspiciousness of the material energy. She's not only his aunt, but she's a great devotee of the Lord. And she can understand the intricacies of devotion to the Lord. And she's speaking in such a very deep philosophical way here, which, and coupled with her spiritual emotions in the mood of anticipation of separation from the Lord. She's highly intelligent in her devotional life, and she knows how to express that in such a wonderful way that these prayers are like, they're like ornamentations on a, for instance, if you get dressed, sometimes you dress yourself up nicely, and then you may want to add a little extra ornamentation to your dressing. So you'll see ladies, especially in the Vedic culture, they would put flowers in their ear, flowers in their hair, or a man would wear a flower on his lapel, or putting a little certain symbols or certain little markings onto the main dress, which indicates a little extra ornamentation, which becomes very outstanding. These ornamentations are noticed even more than the actual dress. So here she's in her prayer, she has ornamented her prayers in such a deep way that these are like ornamentations onto the mood of devotion. They're so deep. And she refers to Krishna not as Krishna, Gadadhara. She's saying Gadadhara, why she called him Gadadhara? She could have called him so many different names. Gadadhara means one who carries the club. Therefore, she's also indicated, this was mentioned in the previous verses, that with you gone, our enemies will take advantage of us and we will be in danger again. And therefore, you are our protector. You are the holder of the club. And because you're holding the club, and if you stay here, we will be protected completely from our enemies. And of course, she's saying that the earth becomes fully blessed and auspicious simply by your lotus feet. So the lotus feet of the Lord are very, very outstanding principle of devotional service. One should learn to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord. When we see a picture of the Lord, or we stand in front of the deity of the Lord, a devotee will focus his consciousness on the lotus feet of the Lord and pray to those lotus feet that please give me that shelter of your lotus feet, because that shelter is the complete shelter. It brings about auspiciousness and it destroys inauspiciousness. And Srila Prabhupada has made one statement just to give an indication that the lotus feet of the Lord are so powerful that if one is executing devotional service, automatically one will be free from any, what we say, obstacles in one's devotional service. In other words, simply by remembering Krishna's lotus feet in the execution of your service, no matter what the service is, those lotus feet will cut through all the obstacles that you may encounter, all the difficulties will dissipate all the confusions in the mind. It will make everything clear and successful. So one should learn to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus feet of the Lord are so powerful. And there are many, many verses throughout the Shastras which glorify the Lord's lotus feet. Bhagavatam is filled with statements. Here's one statement, I'll read it. It's from the 11th canto. My dear Lord, you are the Maha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal object of meditation. Those feet destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul, the attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service, and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death, and therefore even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. Now, this is a verse from the 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 33, describing this verse is spoken by one of the 9 yogendras, describing the glories of pure devotional service. He mentions this particular verse. I actually think, no, I think this verse was actually spoken by Sukadeva Goswami in relationship to the teachings of pure devotional service given by the 9 yogendras. So this is a very, very complete verse describing the glories of the Lord's lotus feet. I'll read one more. This is from the 1st canto, 6th chapter, verse 16. As soon as I began to meditate on the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed into transcendental love, tears rolled down from my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. One more. This is from the 1st canto, 8th chapter, verse number 2. Having greatly lamented over them and offered Ganga water, they again bathed in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. So Ganga gets her power because when she flowed down from the higher planetary systems, she bathed the lotus feet of the Lord, who is known as Trivikram. When Lord Vamanadev was extending his feet to touch the 3 levels of planetary systems in order to fulfill the request of Bali Maharaj, who had granted him 3 steps of land. The first step the Lord took, he took the entire middle planets, and then I think it was the second step, he took the middle planets. He took all 3 in 2 steps. He took everything in the 3 worlds. And at one point, when he offered his lotus feet, it went so high up, the Lord assumed a huge form. It broke the coverings of the universes, and Ganga Devi came from the heavenly planets into the lower planets, or we might say the middle planets. And when when that happened, the Lord Ganga flowed over the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who was in the form of Trivikram. Trivikram means 3 steps. The Lord took 3 steps to take everything away from Bali Maharaj. That though that water washed the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, and then it came down as the Ganga on the earth planet. And so that water is mixed with the lotus feet of the Lord. And therefore, Ganga has become sanctified simply by the lotus feet of the Lord. Everything about the lotus feet of the Lord is auspicious. So we're hearing from Kunti Devi in this particular situation here, how simply by your lotus feet, everything has become auspicious. So we chant the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, and that is the most important part of our devotional practice, the most important exercise and spiritual attainment. But the lotus feet of the Lord is just as powerful as the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha mantra. The one who meditates or thinks of the lotus feet of the Lord, they are no longer in this material world. Their consciousness is being transformed or transported to the spiritual world, where Krishna's lotus feet are the cynosure, or the focus of every living entity in the spiritual world. They can only think of his lotus feet. It says the bottom of Krishna's lotus feet are colored red. And they give two different interpretations. One is that when the sun arises over the horizon, it gives a reddish color to the sky. And that reddish color is actually a personality called Aruni. Aruni. And Aruni takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in his color as red at the lotus feet of the Lord. He is an energy of the sun. And another interpretation or explanation of the red color on Krishna's lotus feet is that when Srimati Radharani gazes upon the lotus feet of the Lord, her gaze is so full of love that it transforms the color of Krishna's feet to a reddish color. These are some of the explanations of the beautiful lotus feet of the Lord and the reddish color that accompanies his lotus feet. And when we take darshan from the deities, we always place our gaze upon the lotus feet of the Lord, which represents pure devotional service. We pray to the Lord's lotus feet, please engage me in your devotional service. Well, praying to the lotus feet is a very direct prayer to Krishna, as opposed to just making a prayer, because the lotus feet of the Lord symbolizes pure devotional service. Okay, so we'll stop here and see if there's any discussion.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for a wonderful session on signifying the transcendental position of the lotus feet of the Lord and how Kunti Devi has ornamented her prayers. And I think that's quite a wonderful analogy of ornamenting her prayers here, as she's specifically addressing Krishna as Gadadhar. And this also represents the love from Queen Kunti Devi, where she fears Krishna's absence would create inauspiciousness. There's also mention about how there are specific symbols on the lotus feet of the Lord, and each one of them has a particular significance for the Lord, and how we should meditate on each of them. And an example was given for Thunderbolt, which is a sign of lightning, and for the devotees, it destroys all inauspiciousness. And similarly, the other symbols should also be meditated upon. In total, there are 20 symbols on the feet of Lord Krishna, and how taking complete shelter, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord gives us complete shelter from the material energy. And Kunti Devi specifically pointing this out here. And also, one of the, you made a very wonderful statement where you said that lotus feet of the Lord will cut through everything inauspicious. And there are wonderful, beautiful, and many verses from the scriptures which glorifies the lotus feet of the Lord. And also, at last, there was significance given of why the lotus feet of the Lord are red in color. One specifically mentions Aruni takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is an energy of the sun. And also, Radharani's glaze transforms the color of Lord Krishna's feet into red through the power of her love. So thank you very much, Maharaj, for this wonderful session. Dear devotees, I would request if you can turn on your cameras so we can make this interaction more personal, and we welcome you to share any questions, comments, or realizations. Thank you.
Jai Namrata. Namrata, you should make a beautiful picture of the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yes, Maharaj, actually I was thinking that actually while you were giving this lecture, it was going on in my mind.
Can you speak that again?
Am I audible? Hare Krishna?
Now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. So Maharaj, actually I was thinking that please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I had a question in previous lecture also. So I would like to ask that first. And second question after that. How do we understand the discrimination that when should we negate a desire and when should we replace it uh, with a higher purpose?
We should negate all material desires. Anything that is not in relationship to Krishna is inauspicious. Therefore, all of these should be negated.
Okay, and then how can we replace it with a higher purpose? I mean, when should we do that? Replacing a desire with a higher purpose.
Always. You can't negate desire without replacing it with something better. And something better means something Krishna conscious.
So we should do both, Guru Maharaj. We should negate it as well as replace it with a higher purpose.
If you negate it, what's left? You can't have a blank mind. You have to put something in there. And if you negate it, then something else will come in. That's all. Mind has to be,
Okay.
has to have something in it. Otherwise, it will go to wherever it wants to go. It'll go to something material, something that it likes itself. So negation simply is, just like we say, detachment and attachment. Detachment is not something final. You detach yourself and then you attach yourself. No one can flee from all attachments. We have to attach ourselves to Krishna, attach ourselves to devotional service, attach yourself to the activities in devotional service. Same way, you negate, that's detachment, and you replace, that's attachment. Same thing, just different words, that's all. Same meaning.
Okay, Guru Maharaj, I think that clarifies. And another question I wanted to ask is about the lotus feet of the Lord. That do we require the permission of Guru Maharaj if we are worshipping lotus feet at home?
No.
Okay.
Krishna's lotus feet is available for everybody.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Krishna has made his lotus feet available. Some are taking it and some are not. Those who take it are fortunate. Those who neglect it or don't understand the value of it, and they're unfortunate.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for this clarification.
Yeah, make a nice, colorful picture of Krishna's lotus feet.
Sure, Guru Maharaj, I will.
Not too colorful, but in the same way. In other words, design it in such a way that each of the different symbols are very much stand out in such a way that you can notice them.
Okay.
Make a big picture.
Sure, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, you mentioned a book in which there is a lotus feet of Krishna, Gauranga, and
Yeah.
which book? I think I missed it. Which book is that?
Well, the book is titled Lotus Feet. It's just a book. It has all the lotus feet with all the different symbols in it. I can't remember. Some devotee put it together. He just gathered all the information on Krishna's lotus feet and the different impressions and made a book. I have it in my library, but my library is not with me, so I can't really refer to it right now because I don't have it with me. I have it only in hard copy. I don't have it in soft copy.
Okay. No.
But go through the Bhagavatam and you'll find different explanations. There is verses about Krishna's lotus feet, which describes the different symbols. Everything that's in that book is in Prabhupada's teachings in his books.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Sure. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Diptesh, you got me focused on the screen, huh?
I can remove it.
Okay. Now we got Namrata, she's on the screen. Put the whole gallery up. Can you do that?
I think individuals would have to select the gallery view to do that.
Okay. I'm doing that, but it's not working.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right. I got it now.
thank you,
you.
Maharaj. Dear devotees, any other questions, realizations about Krishna's lotus feet, or any other questions? We have a hand up from SB13. Sorry,
That's Rishabh Dev from Croatia.
Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry, I don't have so much internet on my phone, so I'm just going to stay unmanifested. I just wanted to add on to one class that Maharaj had in Croatia. He was saying to devotees, if you have lotus feet in your head constantly, you will have no troubles in your life. I think that was the class in Joyful Kitchen once you mentioned, so it really reminds me of this.
Yeah. Lotus feet of the Lord is the supreme feature of all auspiciousness and pure, and indicates pure devotional service.
I really like Maharaj, the point you said that the lotus feet are always available, but we do not take shelter of them. It reminds me of the blessings that you give and Srila Prabhupada gives to us as well by following the instructions, and the blessings are there. And I just noticed how much in my own practice I didn't learn yet, and I'm endeavoring to actually take the shelter and take the shelter of your instructions, take the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's teachings and lotus feet of the Lord. The mercy is always there, but we are not aware how to, and that we need to take shelter of it.
Yeah, that's what Krishna consciousness is about. It's called remembering. The practice remembering what you're supposed to remember, and then you'll be successful. You can put pictures on the wall of Krishna's lotus feet. You can have pictures of Krishna standing in his threefold bending form, and his lotus feet are available. You can, I'll even suggest something for those who really want to get the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet. Those of you who have glasses, you can put the impression of Krishna's lotus feet on the inside of your glasses. And then when you're looking, that's all you see.
Haribo.
And if you don't have glasses, you can get a pair of sunglasses and do the same thing. Yeah. Then you're in the spiritual world.
Thank you, Maharaj. I will endeavor to take shelter of your lotus feet and instructions you gave to us. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Maharaj, whilst the other devotees contemplate on the question, can I mention a pastime for the lotus feet of the Lord?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Maharaj, this reminds me of, this is one of my favorite pastimes from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the passing of Haridas Thakur, where his only desire was to put his lotus feet his chest and to gaze upon the Lord's feet and also his beautiful face before he leaves the body. And he had such attachment for that, to do that, and he specifically requested Mahaprabhu to come. So I remember this pastime.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He placed the lotus feet of the Lord on his chest, and he gazed at the beautiful smiling face of the Lord, and he disappeared. No one, Mahaprabhu even compared his departure to no one else. No one has left the world in such a glorious way as Srila Haridas Thakur. We can also aspire for that too. We should. It's the way to go.
And also, Maharaj, when we do the darshan, or at least when I do the darshan for the deities here, Radha Gokulananda, I always am mindful to focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. But then I want to see the lotus face as well. So it doesn't stay longer on the lotus feet. It would just be a few seconds and then right up to the beautiful smile. So I think I would try to contemplate a little bit more when I have the darshan of the deities next time.
Prabhupada gives us the formula. When the curtains are open, you place your gaze at the lotus feet of the Lord. You move your eyes all the way up to the smiling face, then back down again to the lotus feet of the Lord, and then you offer obeisances. That is the method for greeting the Lord when he appears in his beautiful transcendental form. Everything about the Lord's body is transcendently auspicious and transcendently beautiful. But his lotus face is the most beautiful. But in order to qualify us to actually relish his lotus face in the proper mood of devotion, we have to take full shelter of his lotus feet.
Sri Devi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Gitesh Prabhu. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, my question is, at the time of death, whatever we are meditating on, that's what our consciousness is going to be on. So, how can we practice meditating all the time so that even at the time of death, we are fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord? When tests and trials and tribulations come, then we just get swept away and we forget our practices. But that's actually Krishna showing us our weaknesses. So how we can be ready when the tests come and not just fall by the wayside?
Practice. Practice remembering Krishna. The more you remember Krishna, the more the practice becomes a feature of happiness, feature of enlightenment. This practice. if you're looking at me on the screen, you see my head is turned. I'm looking at the lotus feet of the Lord right now. There's a picture just to my left. Beautiful. We're here in Detroit, and there's the deities are Sri Sri Radha Gopi Janavallabha. Beautiful, beautiful, sweetly smiling Krishna, standing with compassionate Radharani next to him. That's a meditation. Just do it. If you're finding a little confusion, then find that particular transcendental form of the Lord that attracts you the most, and that will become the easiest way to develop your focus on Krishna's lotus feet.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
You want to see a picture of what I'm looking at?
Yes, very much.
Be ready. Hold on to your chair. Tesh, get ready to make this picture the full screen.
Jai.
Jai.
Can you see?
Yes, Maharaj, we can see.
They're still dancing.
Everyone is stunned in silence. Okay, so we can stop here, I guess.
Thank you to your devotees for joining. And thank you, Maharaj, for your time and explaining a very wonderful topic today. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
There we go. So tomorrow, I won't be here, but Wednesday I should be back. So we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And chant, dance, and be happy. And meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. Material world is just a cloud over the spiritual world. It has no no substance of its own, as a cloud is simply blown away by the wind. So in the same way, just remove the cloud of material existence by placing your mind at the lotus feet of the Lord. If it's too difficult, then just chant Hare Krishna. That's all. Our problem is we don't give enough time to Krishna. We just spend too much time doing other things. That's our problem. We like Krishna, but he's just part of our life. You have to make him your life itself. And then you'll understand. And then you'll discover what you're really looking for.
Guru Maharaj, how do we do that while living in this material world?
You know.
It's hard. It is hard.
If you love someone, you can't stop thinking of the person.
Yeah, we can think, and
Yeah.
that is true.
And so we may not have love for Krishna, at least not outwardly, it's there in the heart. So therefore, just keep hearing about Krishna and you'll develop your love for Krishna.
Hmm. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for the lovely classes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll see you all on Wednesday.
Mother Sutavaha gave a nice lecture yesterday.